Welcome to Lesson 7, Asynchronous Communication Tools in MOOCs. In this lesson, we will make a journey around the potential of asynchronous communication in massive online open courses. We will focus on web communication tools directed to promote interaction between the participants and to actively engage them in the learning process. We will start by referring to 3 forms of asynchronous communication and respective tools, distinguishing their features and possible uses in an educational environment, and afterwards we will provide a set of examples of these tools so that you may get acquainted with them and then be able to apply and adapt those asynchronous communication tools to your teaching purposes. By the end of this lesson, it's expected that you are aware of what asynchronous communication implies in an educational context, that you are able to distinguish between diverse types of asynchronous communication used to support online learning environments, identify tools, their features, and their advantages and disadvantages. It's also supposed that you will be able to identify when and how you may effectively use these communication tools in your online teaching purposes, using the appropriate pedagogical approaches to integrate them. What's in fact asynchronous communication? Simply put, asynchronous communication doesn't happen in real time. There is a time lag between the moment the recipient involved in the communication process reads, watches, listens to, or sees the information directed to him and his reaction or response to it. Depending on the situation, asynchronous communication often leads to more productive insights as there is time to reflect on the contents. This characteristic is particularly relevant in a learning context. There's a wide range of free-of-charge, easy-to-use web tools that may be adapted to asynchronous educational contexts. We are focusing on 3. Those directed to provide information, but also to promote discussion and idea sharing, mostly text-based communication like email, forum, blogs, and instant messaging. Moodle, for example, enables all of this. Those tailored to promote collaboration and critical thinking, which are useful to systematize and share content that may be edited, improved, or referred to later on, like wikis, and the use of video, which allows sharing visuals in a dynamic format and to prepare and record well-planned presentations to make the content clear and engaging. Let's get started. Text-based communication tools promote discussion and idea sharing, but also enable reflection before writing, respecting the learner's rhythm. Forums are useful for joint written discussion on a subject, enabling flexible and independent learning and knowledge building. They are useful when you want to launch an open discussion on a single topic, debate ideas on a published article, or create a thread of questions-answers on specific items. However, there are a few constraints in using them, like the lack of focus and inadequate reflection when learners do not actually discuss on the proposed topic, being sometimes difficult to follow a discussion in a long thread of messages. The subject or topic is explored on the surface, and also the need of thorough moderation to keep learners on track, which is demanding and time-consuming. On the other hand, blogs are interesting to be used as a detailed storytelling approach on a more or less wider subject and on its related topics. Content may be organized on topics in a diary-like manner. These are useful for field trip reports, for example, for introducing and following teamwork development, for progress on a research project. They enhance reflective thinking because the posts are chronologically organized, which also enables their users to see how their thinking has changed over time. They might be used as individual portfolios and for small or large group records. When used as a class strategy, for example, blogs also promote collaboration. On the second group, we have selected wikis. Wikis allow students to contribute and modify course-related materials, creating opportunities for constructivist learning and the co-creation of knowledge. Wikis are recommended, for example, for group projects and brainstorming, collaborative writing, and creating a shared knowledge base or reference. Generating a shared glossary of terms and ideas relevant for the course, a wiki dictionary on course vocabulary are only two examples of activities that can be performed using a wiki tool. When your purpose is that learners share their knowledge in a dynamic visual format, then you will ask them to prepare a video. Requiring a video as a task output will enable you to be aware of learners' oral communication skills as well as their content structuring and accuracy capabilities, and allows also students to engage in planning and selecting multimedia information. Powtoon, Beatable, and Loom are easy-to-use applications that enable transforming a static presentation into dynamic engaging content. Have a look at the supplementary material available in this lesson to find out more about asynchronous communication tools and how you can use them in diverse learning scenarios.